Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are working on this gorgeous little last minute Christmas gift beanie. And it's a nice chunky beanie, perfect for winter. Well, let me pop up nice and tall here so you can have a better look. How's that? Gorgeous. The stitch is, well, obviously we've done a ribbing stitch first, but the stitch is a lemon peel stitch. So it's a very basic stitch. If you are new to crochet, you will fly through this beanie. It works up very quickly. And I used a chunky yarn here in Melbourne, Australia. This yarn is called Fiddlesticks Superb 8. It's a chunky yarn. If you will. I find it extraordinarily thick. If you were to use this overseas, you're looking at a number 5 or a number 6 even. You can get away with it being a number 6 even, all right? It does call for an 8mm hook. We used the 7mm hook. Where is it? That one there. That's the 7mm from memory. Yes, we did. We used a 7mm for the ribbing, and then we used the 9mm for the rest of beanie, the lemon peel stitch, if you will. Now, in the middle of the video, I joined it together, joined this ribbed part together, accidentally using an 8. So just avoid that. Stick to your 7 when you are joining your rib together. All right. You will also need scissors, your darning needle, and you'll need a couple of stitch markers. That's it. So I'm not going to talk too long because I would like for you to get your last minute Christmas gift out there as quickly as possible. Thank you for watching and good luck making your lemon peel chunky beanie. So we're going to start with the 7mm hook. So grabbing your yarn, your tail yarn, wrapping it around your finger once and twice, holding it there and holding it there. Pass your back loop halfway over, hold it there. Pass the other loop all the way over, pop your hook in and give it a tug. All right. So now what we're doing is we're chaining up 7. And a chain is yarn over your hook, pull a loop through once, yarn over twice, 3 times, 3 times, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right. Now, this stitch doesn't count as anything, so don't do anything in there. You're going straight into that next stitch. I'll get a nice close-up for you so you can see. So that doesn't count as anything. That's the one on your hook. If you put your hook in there, it's going to come undone. Okay. So you're in that stitch right there, and it's just the one thread. Pop your hook in, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Grabbing a stitch marker, just popping it through those 2 loops on top, like so. Okay, I think mine might have split there, I'm not sure, but we'll find out at the end of the row. Hopefully it didn't. Okay, that is a single crochet. All right, so you're going to do another one in the very next stitch, and that's that loop right there. So pop your hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And 1 in the next stitch. The same all the way across your row. At the end of the row, you should have 6 single crochets. Okay. And there's your last stitch right there. I know it looks like 2, but it's actually only 1. You pop your hook in there, pull a loop through, yarn over, pull through 2. So if you look carefully at it, it's actually just a knot. All right. So let's count our stitches. And what you're counting is these V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Now you're going to chain 1. Turn your work, and in that very first stitch, stitches are these little V's that you see here. All right, we pop our hook normally through the 2 loops, all right, in that space where those 2 loops are. Okay, for the first stitch, you're going to do that. Pop your hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, grab another stitch marker. This one might be a little bit too small for this piece, but hopefully I might have to grab a bigger one for the rest of the tutorial. It's far too small. But for the rest of the stitches, except for the last one, we are popping our hook in the back loop only. All right, so these are the 2 loops that we normally put it through. That is your front. Oh, put the little hook out there, and that's your back. All right, so you're going to push it forward, grab that back loop, and do your single crochet like normal. Turn, push it in the back, single crochet like normal. I just say turn because if it faces you, you can see that back loop right there. Yeah, single crochet, single crochet. And when you get to your last stitch, see how you've got your stitch marker in there? You're going to pop your hook. I'm taking mine out because I know I've split that. You know when you know? I'm so sure of myself. Now, if you've done that and you're not sure where your stitch is, it's that first loop you see right there and that second loop you see right there. Okay, so pop your 2 loops in at the back, pull your hook through and complete your single crochet. Chain 1, turn your work. In the first and last stitch, you are popping your single crochets in the actual stitch, okay? But in all the other ones, you're popping it in the back loops only, okay? So a single crochet in that very first stitch you see there, 1, and grab your stitch marker, popping it in the stitch. Let's hope I don't split it this time. Yeah, I'm going to split it. I need different stitch markers here, guys. You might pay to use a, believe it or not, a safety pin works better than the stitch marker. And you're going to turn, pop your hook in your back loops only, doing your single crochets all the way across. When we get to this row, I'll talk to you about count so you understand what you're doing here. All right, and there's your stitch marker, and I've split the yarn there too. See how it's split? Not good. Always check, guys, if you split your yarn, it's not going to look good. It will be noticeable because it's the brim of your hat. So pop your hook in that stitch, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, turning your work. Single crochet in your first stitch. Let's try that stitch marker again. I have a funny feeling it's not going to work again. I can feel it having trouble going through. All right, now I'm just going to pull up a loop for a minute to talk to you about count. You have 6 single crochets across here. You have to complete that row and all the other rows exactly the same. How many rows, I hear you ask? That's an interesting story. Now, because it's a chunky beanie, sometimes it's hard to tell, but 17 inches, 43 centimeters is roughly how much I would make, because it is roughly the main head circumference for a beanie is between 17 and 22 inches for a woman's beanie. Now, if you're making a man's beanie, it might be that tiny little bit bigger, but I would stick to 17 inches because this, when I say 17 inches or 43 centimeters here in Australia, we work in centimeters, but I would stick to the main, the 17 or 43, because this is a thick beanie, and that is, it's going to stretch. It will stretch, okay? So I am using a smaller hook to make less stretch, but it will stretch, okay? So I would do roughly 17 inches. When you get to 17 inches or 43 centimeters, have a little bit of a play on it with your head. If you can't fit it around the circumference of your head, around your ears and your forehead, okay, so from the back around your ears and to your forehead, if that does not fit around there, then you need to do another 2 rows maybe, or start doing 1 or 2 rows and then check it, okay? Remember that when we stitch it together, it will eventually stretch. That's just a heads up there, all right? So what I would like for you to do, continue in this manner all the way until you get to your 43 centimeters or your 17 inches, and I will meet you back here in a moment to continue the beanie. Alrighty guys, here I am at the end of my piece. Okay, I'm just going to measure that up for you. Ta-da! Let me get a nice close-up so you can see. Mine measures about 43 centimeters, roughly 17 inches. All right, so what we're going to do is grab our work. Now, you may have tried this on and thought it might have been a little too tight for you, but that's okay because this is a super chunky yarn, and once stretched, that's really going to come up loose, okay? So just be wary of that, all right? So here what you have is our last stitch. I'm going to pull up that loop right there, okay? go to the other side of our work and bring it up and over. Right, here is where you have all those little stitches there, so it's even closer. How's that? Ah, that's better. So you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 is kind of tucked right into that corner. So what you're going to do is grab your stitch right in here. Now I've messed with this a bit, so it's kind of split a little bit there. There we go. Grab the loop from the opposite side, like so. Pulling your loop through your stitch, chaining 1. Now I want to reinforce that, so I want to go back into that stitch and back into the stitch there. Pull the loop through, like so, and then pull it through to the loop on your hook. And that is actually a slip stitch. Then you're going to go straight into that next space, but here you're going to slip stitch from the back loop. Now, we've reinforced the first one and we're going to reinforce the last one, but for now we're going to slip stitch from that back loop. So pull that loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook into your very next stitch. This one here on this side, you're going through the whole stitch. All right, on the other side, you're just doing your back loop. So pull the loop through there and pull it through to the stitch that you are in and through to the stitch on your hook. And you're going to do exactly the same. Go into the whole stitch, go into the back loop on that side, pull that loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. And you have 2 more, so 1 there and 1 in the back loop of that one. That last one's going to be a bit tricky. It's a very tight stitch. I can see that now just looking at it. Right there. Oh, it's not too bad. There you go. It's in. Now with this one, because it's the last stitch, you want to get through both those loops right there. Pull that loop through, pull it through to the loop on your hook, and there you go. I'm just going to pull that loop up so you can have a look at what it looks like when it's in the other way. Okay, so it's giving you that same sort of, you know, bubbled look, if you will. Okay, so that's that. Now, pull that loop up like so and split it like I just did. Grab your very next hook size, which is the 9mm hook. Pop it in, chain 1, turning your work. Actually, I might show you that. We did the chain 1. I might show you that in full so you can see what I do. So you're just opening up your work like so. And then you're going to turn it in the other way. In fact, just lift the chain up, turn it in the other way, and have a look at it this way. Okay, popping your hook back in the loop, and you are going to work along that side there. Okay, so in the very next stitch, which is right here, let me get a close up again. We'll need these stitch markers in a minute. In that very next stitch right there, you can see the space. Pop your hook in, pull a loop through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. You formed a single crochet. Pop your stitch marker in, and you're going to do that all the way along wherever you see a space. 1 there, single crochet. All right, well, when I say wherever you see a space, it actually has to be in every stitch. So see how you've got that little tight gap there, 1 in there, and 1 in the space there. 1 in your little tight gap right there, and 1 in the space next to it. Okay, and you're going to single crochet all the way across the round like so. Don't stress too much if you've missed a stitch. It doesn't matter, because we are working with chunky yarn. It will really be quite thick up the top anyway, which is what you want. You want a nice thick look, I'm still struggling to get in some of my stitches. It is a smaller thread down here anyway, so you're going to have a few problems getting in, but once you're in, you're in. All right, so just keep going all the way across. I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do this. Just pop your single crochets in every stitch. Get to the stitch just before the stitch marker and I'll meet you up. Alrighty, so here I am at the end of the row. I have my last stitch there. And that part there is actually a little knotted stitch which you want to keep tucked in there once we slip stitch together, and then you'll be weaving that in as well. All right, what I have in rounds, so you know, in stitches I should say, in the round, I have 42 stitches. Okay, it doesn't matter what you came up with, just make sure you can divide it by 3. Okay, so if not, and you don't have a number to divide by 3, add another stitch in there at the back. All right, I do, so I'm not going to worry about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to take that stitch marker out because I think I've split the yarn putting the stitch marker in. Slip stitch into your stitch marker. If you don't want to use stitch markers and you're anything like me and you keep splitting that yarn, don't use them. Popping your hook in that stitch marker stitch, grab a loop, pull it through and pull it through to the loop on your hook, giving it a nice tug, chain 1, and in the same stitch you're going to pop a single crochet like so. Maybe don't do that stitch so tight. Well, I really need it to be tight enough so you don't see the join in the next round. Okay, there, like so. Then in your very next stitch, right there, you're going to pop a double crochet. That's yarn over your hook, pop the hook in the stitch, and that's through those 2 loops. In the middle of that little 2 loops you see there, you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Okay, your next one is a single crochet in the next stitch like so. Your very next stitch is double crochet, yarn over your hook, into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Your very next stitch is a single crochet. You're seeing the pattern here? Next one, a double. Next one, a single. Next one, a double. Okay? Super duper easy. Okay, now this stitch is known when you're doing a single and a double and a single and a double. That stitch is known as a lemon peel stitch. Okay, so what I would like for you to do is to single, double, single, double, single, double all the way across. Now you must end up with a double crochet. When you get to around the last 2 stitches, stop there and I'll meet you up. Okay, alrighty guys, that's what you should have. Okay, I'm on my last couple of stitches here. I just made a double there. I'm going to do a single in my next and a double in that last stitch, which I did a little bit too loose there. All right, so that's your double. Yes, now what you want to do, slip stitch into your stitch marker, pull your loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Just take that stitch marker undone like so, chaining 1 nice tight stitch there, and you're also going to pop a single crochet, and then you're going to pop a single crochet in the side of that stitch there. So a single crochet in the side of that stitch, that'll be classified as your first double crochet in this round. Okay, oops, better pop that stitch marker in like so. Have a couple of stitch markers sitting there. This is a good one to use actually. It's nice and big. I'll get rid of the other one. So there's your double crochet. Well, sort of a double crochet. Your next stitch right here was a double crochet in the previous round. You're going to pop a single crochet in that one. Okay. Your next stitch was a single crochet. You're going to pop a double crochet on top of your single. Your next stitch is a double, so you're going to pop a single crochet in there. and then a double in your next, and then a single in your next, double, and single, and so on and so on and so on. So that's what you're going to do all the way along. Get to the end of this stitch marker right here, and I shall meet you up. There you go, guys. Check that out. The stitch is looking gorgeous. Nice and solid and thick. Perfect for winter months. Oh, very exciting. All right, so I'm on my single there from memory. Yes, it is a single. All right, so I'm doing double in the next. And single in my last stitch, which means that should have been my double, and it is. Well, kind of was. We did a single on top of a single. The only reason I do that is because it actually closes up the stitch a bit. I'll show you in a minute again. Slip stitch to the top of that stitch marker. Now remember, you've done your single there, right? And that's a double. So your next round should actually start with a single on top of the double, and your double will be on top of that single. Hoping this is making sense. Okay, so chaining one, nice tight stitch there, single crochet in the same space, like that, okay? That round that you just did, and this round, is a repeat, over and over and over again, until your beanie measures what you want it to measure. Okay, so you've done your single in there, which means that's a single from your previous row. You need to put a double crochet on that one. So that's pretty much all you're doing. Singles on top of your doubles and doubles on top of your singles. Single on your double, a double on your single. Single on your double, double on your single. Super duper easy. I'm not going to send you off on your own for a minute because we're going to have a quick chat about measurements. Okay, so where you need to get to from here is grabbing your measuring tape yet again. Okay, so turn your beanie to the side, grab your measuring tape there. From there to the where I want you to get to is roughly 18 centimeters. Let me get you a nice close up. Roughly 18 centimeters or 7 inches. So now think about from where we started, there to there. So the last 2 rows, I think it was about 3 centimeters and 1.5 inches. So that's not going to take you long to get to your 18 centimeters and 7 inches. It's just, you're going to fly through this beanie. All right, so that's what I need you to do. Head off on your own, repeating those 2 rows over and over and over again until you get to that measurement that I mentioned, which was, 18 centimeters, 7 inches. So go ahead and do those rows, and I shall meet you back in a moment. Alrighty guys, here I am at the end of mine. I'm just going to turn it to the side, give it a bit of a measurement there. So you're going to have a see, a look-see, and there you go. All right, there we go. So it's roughly 18 centimeters or, 7 inches, a little tiny bit bigger. And it's okay for it to be that tiny bit bigger than to be smaller, because otherwise it may not fit your head. Now, let's get on with the next part of the tutorial, which would be decreasing, okay? We need to close up the top now to form the top part of our head. Okay, so I think I might have split the yarn when I did this stitch marker, so I'm going to take mine out, when you know. All right, so what we're going to do is just slip stitch in the top of your stitch of your stitch marker stitch, pull that loop through, pull it through to the loop on your hook. Now from memory, that was the single crochet one. I don't know what yours ended up, but it doesn't matter anyway. I'm just going to pop a chain 1 and then a single crochet in there like so, and then a side single crochet. Now if you ended up with a single crochet, just do your single crochet. Do you know what I mean? If you ended up with a single crochet row. All right, my next stitch will be a single crochet, so I'm going to pop a single crochet in there, okay? But for the next stitch, normally we will put a double crochet there and then a single there, yes? we're going to start the double crochet. We're going to do them both together. We're going to start the double crochet in there like normal, yarn over, pull through 2, stop it there. Jump into your next stitch where you would have put a single crochet, pull up a loop. You've got 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Your next one will be a double crochet because that was your single. So your next one will be a double. And your next one will be your single. Okay? Yarn over. Like a normal, you have to put a normal double crochet in there. Start your double crochet. Then you're going to start your single crochet. So pop your hook in there, pull a loop through. You've got your 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. In your next stitch was a double. So you're going to put your double in. And your next stitch, you're going to put your single in. And then you're going to do your decrease again. Start your double, jump into your single, start it, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. All right, your next stitch is your double and your single. And then you're going to do your decrease together. Double, start it, hold it there, jump into your single, start your single, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then do your normal double and your single, and then your 2 together again. Start it, oops, nearly did that, single, and then you do your normal double and your normal single. Your next stitch will be a decrease, and so on and so on, and get to, oh, I didn't put my stitch marker in there. Oops. I'm so sorry. Shh, don't tell anyone. Right there. All right, so there's your stitch marker. So get to your stitch marker with your complete decrease. You might end up with the last 2 around here decrease. Just wait for me on the last decrease and I'll meet you up. All right, here I am at the end of the row. Let's just get a nice close up there for you. I've just done a double and a single together, so I'm just going to do a normal double there and a single in there. Okay, then I'm going to slip stitch to the top of that stitch there, pull the loop through like normal, take out that stitch marker. Now this row here starts with a single, so chain 1, pop your single in there, like so. And your next one is your double. But what we're going to do, we're going to do the 2 together all the way through now. So yarn over your hook, double in there, like so, single in your next. 2 together, if you know what I mean. Then we're going to do it again, double, 2 together, double, together. Oh, I might have left that too loose. We don't want that too loose. If it's too loose, you'll have big massive gaps everywhere. Don't do them too loose. Your double, there you go, that's better. And your 2 together. All right, you're still going to see a little bit of gaps there. It's bound to happen, but it's not, you just don't want it to be too loose. Okay, all right, I think you know what you're doing. Oh, I forgot to put a stitch marker in again. I'm sorry, guys. I don't use them. That's what it is. Go right back to your very first stitch. And that was that single crochet right there. Like so. Okay? And there you go. All right, continue in that manner all the way until you get back around to here and I shall meet you up. Alrighty, guys. If you are anything like me, because I started with a single there, and look, I've split that stitch. Let me get that out. You don't have to, I will. I just keep splitting the stitches with this yarn. It's so chunky. If you're anything like me, you would have 1 stitch left because we did a single in there, remember? So what you're going to do is just pop a double in there, like so. Oops, don't split the yarn. I'm having a lot of trouble. And then just slip stitch into the top of your single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, pop a stitch marker there. We'll definitely need it for this round, definitely. Now what we're going to do is single crochet 2 together, pop your hook in there, yes, then straight into your next one, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Now you're in there already, so you're going to jump into that stitch right there with another single crochet 2 together, there and there, yarn over, pull through. Now you're already in that stitch, so you're going to jump into the next one right there with a single crochet 2 together, like so. Okay, whoops, it's getting shorter now, isn't it? Okay, so you're in that stitch there, jump into your next with 2 together. It's super duper easy, this part. You're in there, into your next with your 2 together. You're in there, so you're jumping into the next one and the next one, and there's your 2 together. Very fiddly now, isn't it, guys? We're in there, so you're going to jump into that one there and that one there to make 2 together. All right, and what you've got is that 1 single crochet left. Pop your single crochet in there, slip stitch into the top of that nice tight stitch, like so. Pull a, whoops, try that again. Pull a loop through and through to the loop on your hook. Now you're going to pull up a loop like so. Nice long tail. Give yourself a nice long tail because you're going to be doing some sewing now. Quick and easy sewing. All right, so your gap should be looking like that. If it doesn't look that small, you may need to do some tight single crocheting or something. I'd rather you didn't, just leave it like that because we're going to grab our needle now. Pop your thread in that needle. Told you this is going to be a super quick, easy beanie, didn't I? I didn't lie. Okay, so there we are. We're in there. Pop your needle in your first stitch, like so. There. In through the next stitch, like so. In through your next stitch, like so. Through the next stitch. So it's just in and out, all the way across. In there. Where are we? We're in that one there. We need to go into this one here. And into that one there. And this is your stitch. We're going to go in there though, just before it. That's exactly where our knot is. So that's where we're going to end up closing up. And then all you do is give it a tug. A tug, just like that. All right. Now what you're going to do is just close up the hole a little bit. Just on top a little bit. Not too much, and try not to split too much because this will be noticeable. Well, it won't be noticeable unless you're standing next to someone who's 7'2", or in my case, 5'3". Sorry, guys, I just thought I'd have a little bit of humour there. So just so naughty. I'm so naughty. Just close up that gap a little bit. Don't fuss too much because you've got spaces from your single crochets there and you don't want to go into those spaces. All right, so what I want you to do, pop your needle in through the top of your beanie like so. Open up your beanie and your needle should be in there. This is the inside of your beanie. Pull it through nice and tight. Just for now, turn it inside out there like that. So you're on this side, and now all you're going to do is Weave in and out a few times, not much, just a few times, because you don't want to make it too pulling up the top. It looks a bit weird with chunky yarn if it pulls up the top. Okay. What I do like to do here though, because it's chunky, I do like to make a little knot up the top like that, just once. Like that, and then just weave in and out twice. Anywhere you like, it doesn't matter. One there and maybe one on the other side that way. There's no way that's coming undone. If you're really worried, go back another way one more time. Sorry, did I get sing-songy? Maybe that wasn't such a good idea because it's nice and chunky. That means that is never going to come undone. Ever. Put your beanie in the right way. Ta-da! There you go. It's very nice. It's very. I'll just pretend like we weave that in. Shh. All right. So isn't that gorgeous? No matter which way you look at it, there's no seam line. There's no nothing. If you really wanted to get pedantic, there's your seam. If you really wanted to see if there's a seam line, that's where your seam is. Yeah. So your seam line should be there. And I see nothing. Do you? I love this stitch. I love. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed making your chunky beanie. Pop it on over your head and see how gorgeous you look. Don't forget you need to weave in this end here. All right, and this beanie took roughly about a skein and a half of your super chunky, bulky yarn. It looks gorgeous on. I love it so much. Great for the winter months, autumn, winter, and anywhere you want to wear it. Also, guys, don't forget, we have lives on Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m, Melbourne, Australia time, that is, every week to discuss our projects that we've made throughout the week and discuss future projects coming up. We're going to have some exciting projects coming up over the next few months. Get excited, some great news coming up into the new year. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do all those wonderful things that you do for me. And all I want to say right now is, gorgeous. Ciao for now.